All right, my Bible in 365 brothers and sisters, we have arrived at the book of Zephaniah, and this is one of the great prophetic books. Now, of course, Zephaniah is considered to be a minor prophet, referred to as a minor prophet, not because of the content of the prophecies given to him by the Lord, but because of the fact that it was a very small amount of writing, right? So, of course, this is why we know the major prophets are called major only because of how much they actually wrote. The minor prophets, of course, simply because of how small of amount they wrote, but of course, big punch to a very small amount of writing. Now, Zephaniah, of course, ministered to the southern kingdom of Judah prominently. And what's very interesting about him is he ministered during the days of King Josiah. Now, this is very interesting because he was a great grandson of King Hezekiah, which made him a relative of Josiah. This is very interesting. They were related. And what's even more interesting is that Josiah, who was a very godly king who started his reign at 8 years old, happened to be a relative of Manasseh, who was by far one of the most wicked kings that had ever ruled in the southern kingdom. They were all relatives. Now, this becomes very interesting because it makes the prophetic words that Zephaniah spoke a whole lot more significant, because it's very obvious that he had a vested interest in wanting to see his nation actually be saved through the act of repentance. Now, I think we're in a very similar position in the United States of America in that as representatives of the Lord and as mouthpieces for God, we have a desire as pastors to want to see our country do well. But unfortunately, it's looking like more and more there are so many people in power that are making very wicked decisions, and yet that is not going to stop us from speaking the truth, just like it never stopped Zephaniah from speaking the truth. And what he did was he warned them of the impending judgment that would come. He was ministering in the late 600s, which means he was, somewhere around in the 640 all the way to maybe 605 or 607. Right before the end of his ministry, we actually saw Babylon beginning to move in on the southern kingdom. And of course, as Zephaniah predicted, understand that Babylon destroyed Jerusalem, just like he predicted, just like Jeremiah predicted, just like Ezekiel predicted, and many others. And what is even more interesting about everything that he shared was that he warned against Molech, right? Which is the god of the Amorites. And of course, Molech was the god that I believe people are worshiping today when they pursue sexual activities and lusts and then sacrifice their children to abortion. And he spoke very vividly against that. And he spoke about the day of wrath to the nations that were around. And then, of course, it's very interesting. He spoke of a time when God would correct it all. And he speaks about the millennial reign of Christ. He speaks about things that have yet to happen, and it's pretty incredible stuff. And as usual, I'm going to just tell you, you will be blessed studying these prophecies. You can go to jameskaddis.com. You can go to our YouTube channel, Calvary Chapel Signal Hill. You can go to calvarychapelsignalhill.com, and I have full teachings through the book of Zephaniah. You are going to absolutely love it. You're going to grow. You're going to be blessed, and you're going to be, number one, motivated in these last days to fight for what's right and to stand for the Lord in this nation. And you're also going to be motivated to walk in purity, knowing that Jesus is coming soon and understanding the fact that these prophets were no joke and they got it right every time because it was God that was speaking through them. All right? God bless you guys. We love you. Keep fighting the good fight.